Rob G didn't have my microwave take ready.
Wow.
But remember, I've been saying all offseason, and I said it again Friday. Dak Prescott will get signed before the season.
Why didn't you break a story then if you had it?
I was just saying it. I wasn't reporting nothing. I don't report break stories no more. I was just saying my belief, my strong belief, was that this is Jerry Jones.
It is. I mean, we did mention that, right? He always caves at the end.
But you didn't believe he was going to cave this time.
I believe he'd get a deal, but I didn't know it was going to be here, Chris. I didn't. Right. I'll say that.
4 years,
but a deal, yes.
$40 million, $60 million a year, $231 million guaranteed to Dak Prescott, Rob. So what do you think, just the whole thing, like the way Jerry Jones dragged this out like he always does, and the money that Dak Prescott got?
I wouldn't have paid Dak Prescott. I've seen him for 7-8 years in the postseason. I just think he might. What's the right way? To me, he's a more melanin Tony Romo. Can I say that? I mean,
melanin, more melanin, yes.
Tony Romo, Chris, if you get my point.
Basically a black Tony Romo.
There you go. I didn't want to say it like that, but you get my point. Tony Romo had really good seasons for the Cowboys, Chris. Am I wrong on that?
No.
He had really good seasons, but they never could win with Tony Romo as quarterback, and we've had a good sample size. Could they win somehow, somewhere? I guess they could. I'm not saying that they can't win if you get a great defensive performance and he doesn't make any mistakes or whatever. Sure, he can win. But do I really believe that Dak Prescott should be is worth the money that they just pay? I don't believe that. Go look at the last couple playoff games when Green Bay came in there, and then the one before that against the 49ers when the offense was awful. I mean, this is what we've seen in those moments or spots. I'm just not a fan, Chris, and I've told you for a long time, when you thought he was even like on his way to being elite, you remember that. I haven't changed. I never was a
He's
Dak
a
guy.
tier 2 quarterback, now, right? A notch below the top 5-ish or whatever. Yeah. But I did think he was going to become an elite quarterback. And he's really good.
No, I'm just saying.
He's a star.
But all I'm saying is, have I not been
in that top
consistent the whole time on him? I'm saying I've not changed.
No, you've been consistent on him.
On him, that's all.
But as we always say, you don't win it until you win it.
No, I get it.
And Rob, Peyton Manning didn't win a Super Bowl until his 9th year in the league.
But Peyton Manning was winning MVPs.
Now he's better. Yeah, he was better
I'm saying,
than
Chris,
Dak. He was winning MVPs.
Yeah.
But that goes for Lamar Jackson too, Rob. Lamar Jackson hasn't had playoff success and has actually played poorly in the playoffs. Now he's won MVPs. But I'm just saying, Dak was second last year in MVP.
Yeah, but
he had a chance to win it.
No, he didn't. He
was second. He had a chance.
He wasn't. I mean,
he finished second. I mean, that's not in the running.
No, because Lamar got all the first place votes except for one. I mean, they changed the way that they voted.
But I'm just saying.
But he wasn't really second, Chris. I mean,
well, he actually really was.
But you get my point.
It was a gap, obviously. But I'm just saying he was the second in the MVP voting
I get
last
it,
year.
But I'm saying that
he had a very good year. But he's not an MVP winner. I'll give you that.
The difference between is that those two guys you're talking about won MVPs before they won, so they have a trajectory where you feel way better that they're going to get it done at some point. I don't believe that after 8 seasons with Dak Prescott. Has it been 8, Rob G? Is it 8 years? I don't.
But I think, and I hear you. I tend to think now, you know, my beef with the Cowboys, even beyond Dak, is their culture. I don't think the culture, the tone that Jerry Jones sets is conducive to winning at the highest level. But so I tend to agree with you that I don't think they're going to win it. But they got a chance. I do think you can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as your quarterback.
I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah, the question, though,
Everybody would have said that about Tony Romo too, and they never got there. I'm just saying, I hear you. I'm not saying he'll never win a Super Bowl under any circumstance. I would never say that,
right?
Because we've seen way lesser quarterbacks, Chris,
right,
win Super Bowls. We saw a broken down Peyton Manning with tape and glue and popsicle sticks to his neck. Win a Super Bowl for Denver, didn't we?
Right.
I just gave you the numbers earlier. He was terrible.
Yeah, the thing is this, and I get you and your view that, hey, start all over, because he's 2-5 in the playoffs. Romo was 2-4 in the playoffs. But Rob, if my thing was this, and I was saying this during last season or right after the season and all that, the problem is if you would have let Dak go, you're basically starting all over. And you don't know, Rob, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years before you get that next franchise quarterback.
I get it. It's a roll of the dice.
It's a risk, right? And
sometimes
they just gave CeeDee Lamb all that money. So look at Devontae Adams, melting away, withering away in Las Vegas because he's got no quarterback. That could be CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys if they let that go. Vegas has a good defense. Rob G knows. That's his team. Rob G, where you have a unique perspective on this because you do have a team that's got talent, but not a quarterback. So you'd probably love to have Dak Prescott.
I would love to have Dakota Rain Prescott as my quarterback.
See, that's the thing, bro. Like Pittsburgh would take him. The Raiders would take him.
But it doesn't mean that they would win anything even if they got him. And I get that, Chris. I mean, sure, you look at the numbers and the regular season and all that other stuff, but if you're trying to win a championship, he is not like automatically you're going to win.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm just not a fan. I'm not.
Look, the thing is with the $60 million, here's the thing. $60 million, your quarterback's making that much. You're not, you can keep kicking the can down the road, right? Deferring money. But at some point, is Jerry Jones going to do that, right? So some of these guys, they're not going to have as much. And man, Rob, you got this San Francisco game on. They are killing themselves with penalties. They just had a touchdown run taken back because of penalty, and they've had a few other big plays.
But didn't they just get a touchdown? Is this the second one? Oh, this is the flag. You got it. This is coming back.
So, but anyway, I what do you think? Like my thing too, though, Rob. And this again, I just never wavered because I've seen Jerry's act. But why? Like he could have done this and maybe gotten Dak for less than $60 million, Rob. Had he done it in March. Yeah, had he done it in April, give him $57 million a year, and now again, I get it. $3 million a year isn't a ton of money.
I don't get it either. I have no idea, like the thinking behind it, or why they do what they do. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. If you're going to give them the money eventually, right. Chris, what is the difference?
You lose out on training camp. Right now, Dak practiced, but CeeDee Lamb didn't.
Exactly. Like, why? You set him back. You can say whatever you want. You set him back for no reason.
Right. He's like the guy that tries to act like he's so tough and talks all this mess, but at the end of the day just crumbles. The parent who, you grounded. You can't go to the prom. You can't talk on the phone. Give me your phone. You can all that, and then at the end of the day, you just crumble.
Is that you or Crystal who crumbled the most?
No,
to the girls?
We didn't crumble. We didn't crumble.
Somebody had to be the soft spot, Chris. Somebody.
Our girls got grounded. They laugh now about y'all were always grounding us.
Right, you're grounded.
But we taught our girls early. My girls really didn't give us much problem because early on, from young, we disciplined them. And I believe in spanking.
But you know what? I don't know.
When they got older, they weren't a problem.
But I'm not so sure. If you tell them that if they act up or act out, they have to listen to Doug Gottlieb's show. Is that really punishment? I'm just asking.
I don't rip the colleagues like that, man. Come on, why you doing that? That's your colleague, bro. At least rip somebody from another network.
I